Welcome back everybody to the Join Dota League Season number 4, the European Division 1, a two-game series between HEHE United and Moscow 5. We're already in game number 2 as Moscow 5. They took game number 1 with just some excellent early aggression, and well, not even only early aggression, just throughout the entire game. So very well done by them. HEHE though, they definitely want to strike back and just tie this series up 1-1. And we're of course HeflaTV, I'm Coucher, and once again I'm joined by Mike. Man, any last thoughts on just the last game and how this game will play out?
He need to pick up heroes that are durable. They need heroes that have more than like 600 HP 10 minutes into the game. They need centaurs and tide hunters and all sorts of strength heroes under the sun, because if they're under that sort of pressure from Moscow 5 again, which they might be, obviously it's going to be, I think, the same bans as last time from HEHE, maybe even the same bans from Moscow 5, but yeah, they just need durable heroes, and if Moscow 5 are going to play that aggressively, then they're going to run into more of a brick wall. Hey, there's a durable hero right there.
It's crazy how popular the Ogre is, really. It's first pick for HEHE this time around, and it's happened almost every single time I've seen Moscow 5 in this season of Join Dota League. They have the first pick first, going for the Ogre, and next game the other team goes for the Ogre first pick themselves. Really, I think it's happened every single time. Moscow 5, maybe in 4 series so far, but Moscow 5. Nature's Prophet Mirana, two of the heroes that brought them just great success, especially the Nature's Prophet in game number 1. I highly doubt he's going to be able to repeat his performance though.
Yeah, I don't think he is, but he doesn't have to, because that is just such an outlier that even if he does half as good as he did last game, then that'll be an extraordinary performance from the Nature's Prophet. So it's going to be Moscow 5 just staying the course. I mean, they won last game with these two heroes. They're not going to have their hands on the Ogre Magi, which is a little bit unfortunate. But as long as you have a setup stun at all from Mirana, you should be fine. And you're always going to be able to get your hands on some setup stun. Whether it's Shadow Demon, Venge, Rubik, all these heroes, you can't take them all if you're HEHE. You can't ban them all out. So it's going to be fine for Moscow 5 and HEHE. With this Ogre Magi, I hope they don't go back into that kind of Medusa mindset. Even if they do like the hero and like the playstyle surrounding her, it's, I don't think, the right decision against Moscow 5.
It probably isn't, but we'll see how he want to go. Their IO once again banned out, of course, by Moscow 5 together with the Legion Commander. So Moscow 5, their bans were exactly the same as in game number 1 so far. He, though, Ogre, I mean, he's just such an aggressive hero by nature. Having the health pool as well as the armor to just dive towers early on, like we saw Moscow 5 do in game number 1. So I would definitely love to see some more early aggression by them. They did go for an aggressive tri-lane in game number 1 as well. Didn't work out all that much, Blower Brain. Still got a reasonable amount of farm on the PA. And soon enough, the tri-lane just had to kind of break itself apart just because the other lanes couldn't handle it otherwise. So they have their job cut out for them, really. Just drafting already, and looks like they're having some issues. I mean, 40 seconds left. Something like a Razor, maybe? I'm not even too sure.
I feel like you can't really go wrong with the Skywrath Mage here. Like, the silence against Mirana, Nature's Prophet, you are kind of set up if he tries to self-sprout and TP. It's a great combo with Ogre Magi. It's very safe as well. Not exactly one of those durable heroes that I was talking about before, but hey, you got to make some sacrifices. Or they could just go full tank. I mean, that's good too. Viper's going to be the pickup. Their goal right now, it seems to be to not lose the lanes. I mean, if they have a good laning stage, and with Ogre Viper, you're pretty much assured that, then you'll be able to stand a much better chance come the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and overall having an Ogre just makes it so that even if you don't have the strongest late game heroes, the Bloodlust might make them just a little bit more viable. Even Viper can just transition into late game depending on the itemization as well as how much farm he's getting. But if you have like Monkey King bar really on almost any hero, they can turn into a right-click carry as well. But Moscow 5, their ban here, Skywrath Mage, it definitely would have made sense. Like you said, just Ogre, Skywrath Mage, overall a pretty strong combination and can't really go all that wrong with that. But not to be for HEHE. So most likely they will want to pick up a ranged support as the secondary one now. Guess something like a Witch Doctor is still available as well. Just decent stun, nice heal, as all Moscow 5 Necrophos pick.
Okay, that definitely happened. Necrophos in the field, and that's after banning out an Ancient Apparition, so I do like the approach that Moscow 5 took there, making sure that they always get heal value out of that hero. It's a very much so Death Ball-y type of hero. When you get so much damage and sustain from one skill, the Death Pulse, is fantastic at doing that, keeping your team up. And with Nature's Prophet already on the field, if they do want to go for this very heavy pushing lineup, I think they can do so. They're going to take the Shadow Demon, actually. Not really sure where that's coming from, but this is going to just be a full-on death ball for Moscow 5. I've seen some other team in the past do it. I don't remember who it was, but this is going to be just non-stop action from them once again.
I know that Shadow Demon is used, or at least talks have been going on that Shadow Demon really counters the Necrophos, just because you use the Reaper's Scythe. At the same time, Shadow Demon disrupts the target, and just that ultimate is completely wasted. Of course, the Shadow Demon is going to have to be just spot on with his plays to be able to do so. But Moscow 5, man, with the Abaddon, like you said, the Death Ball, I kind of hope that they're going to go for an OD into the mid lane now, just because they would have the aura then for their players, the heroes, to just spam out every single ability without a worry for the mana cost. But, man, Abaddon plus Necrophos, HEHE, so far, they really don't have the damage to bring them down unless Ogre gets extremely lucky with his multicasts. So HEHE, whoa, a Dazzle for them as well. So, it's... Both teams have a pretty nice amount of heal, but with the Dazzle and Shadow Demon, the Necrophos ulti, definitely, it's a lot harder for him to actually land kills with that.
For sure, and the only logical progression here for Moscow 5 is Axe. That's gotta be it. I mean, maybe not, but they have now Ogre Magi, Shadow Demon, Dazzle. I mean, there are three heroes that we do see pretty often, but not at the same team. So who do you think is going to not being played support here? Or do you think they're all just going to go to the same lane and just try to be super aggressive?
I would think that Dazzle might be the core here. I would love to see Dazzle core at the very least. Even Ogre might not be that bad, get the Dagon Scepter. Although one thing I really haven't seen at all ever since the change was made was Shadow Demon Aghanim Scepter. I think I've seen it in like 1 or 2 games, but by that time the game was so over in the favor of the Shadow Demon's team anyway that he didn't even get the time to use all of those ultimates. And I think they even buffed it even further that it has free charges nowadays. So I would just love to see that, but I think Dazzle will be the core out of those 3.
Yeah, I could buy that. He does need a lot of experience. I've seen Ogre Magi mid being played occasionally, and up against Moscow 5, their mid is not looking too strong, so that also might be a possibility. I sure hope it's not Shadow Demon mid, as much as I love that, it's probably not going to be happening. But the last hero for Moscow 5, if they are going to be going into this heal sustain kind of route with Abaddon Necrophos, maybe they want to pick up a little bit more of a damage dealer. Someone like Slark seems pretty good right now for Moscow 5. They could go a little bit more vanilla and pick up, anyone else, and that would be fine as well. But as far as weird heroes, I don't know. Maybe it's a Huskar game. Maybe it's not. Sniper might be a viable pick right here. Really, if you're going to go Abaddon Necrophos, you could go whatever you want as the last pick, since you're already more or less set for your strategy. You have to make sure that the hero isn't some hyper carry like a Medusa. And even if they do that, they could just turtle this out and be okay as well.
They most likely would. I mean, so far they definitely don't have strong late game. So if Moscow 5 go for a late game hero backed up by Necrophos and Nature's Prophet also as the cores for the late game, they could easily take this just late game if it really came down to that, I think. Whether Moscow 5 want to go for it, since just because Moscow 5, I've seen them a couple of times actually reach the late game because they were unable to end the games earlier. And their decision making there isn't really the best. It's not as crisp as maybe some other teams. So Moscow 5, there's a reason why they're playing that aggressive most of the time, because that's what really suits them best. But we shall see. I mean, 30 seconds left for them to make their decision. I would still love to see the Axe. Of course, their laning might not be as good with it. But Axe is just always fun to see, so...
I mean, it's Necrophos, Abaddon, Axe. That seems like a... It doesn't matter what your lanes are. It's going to be... I didn't expect that hero. Alchemist, I suppose, is going to be played as core. It doesn't seem like Alchemist is... Or in this situation, Alchemist is really going to be fitting Moscow 5's lineup. I mean, he does have a ton of sustain, given his ultimate and everything like that. This seems to be a core Alchemist. Maybe he's going to go mid, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a Vigos type of hero.
Maybe they're not going to go... Maybe they're running like Alchemist Abaddon double support or something and having the Mirana as a core. Maybe you really no clue. As Alchemist overall, not a bad pick. Just the health from coming out. Oh man!
Oh,
I was talking about the Huskar, but for the wrong side.
No, no, no. I meant HEHE. That's definitely what I
Oh
meant.
yeah, okay. Yeah, my bad then, my bad. But oh, we're gonna have a Huskar at our hands. I mean, he Huskar just tanking it up against magical damage, supported by Dazzle and Shadow Demon as well. How the hell is Moscow 5 actually gonna kill the Huskar? It's gonna be really hard for them, to be honest.
Oh, it's going to be extremely difficult, especially since Alchemist, it seems like it's going to be handled by PGG, is going to not really be a huge damaging factor later on. If he was going for a core farming Alchemist, then physical damage versus Huskar is pretty much what you want. If he life breaks you, you very quickly heal a lot of that damage up, and you'll be able to man fight pretty effectively. But most of their damage is going to be in the Necrophos. Vigos is going to be playing the Mirana, so I guess they'll have a little bit of damage there. But even if Mirana does get core amounts of farm, the build usually is Maelstrom, and that's damage through magic once again. So this is going to be a very awkward game for Moscow 5. This Huskar, I think for the first time in all the games I've seen him, is actually going to be a very good pick here. And we'll see as the teams load out into the lanes. It is going to be, as I said, Vigos on the Mirana mid lane. PGG is also heading towards there for now, and handling the Alchemist. Up towards top, it's Tron's Nature's Prophet. Then towards the bottom lane, we got Blur Brain on the Necrophos, as well as King R on the Abaddon.
And for Nihis will be playing the Huskar, probably in the mid lane as Hava on the Viper, making an aggressive tri lane together with Sexy Bambo on the Shadow Demon, Chips High on the Dazzle. And the last one will be Technoroshan Blue Banana on what can only be a core Ogre Magi. So it even might be a Viper safe lane, I guess, with an aggressive tri lane with the rest of the three. But if Shadow Demon and Dazzle, I guess Moscow 5, they really have to focus down the Shadow Demon and Dazzle first in the fights and then go for the others. And Huskar, if he life breaks, is going to lose a pretty nice amount of his own HP as well. And later on in the game, if Necrophos has a level 3 ultimate, has the Aghanim Scepter, if Huskar, they only really need to get him down to half HP when the Shadow Demon and Dazzle have been taken care of already. But of course, it's not like it's that easy to do since Moscow 5, both teams even, kind of lack just the jump-in hero. For he, it's going to be Huskar going in first into the fight. For Moscow 5 though, what's their initiation plan?
I think it has to be just random Alchemist stun landing or something like that. I mean, really, they don't have any heroes that really go for Blink Daggers, at least Blink Daggers to initiate. I mean, Nature's Prophet went for one last game. It's mostly just to keep himself safe and do that whole split pushing business. Necrophos can kind of do the same thing, get a Blink Dagger mostly to keep himself safe, but not to jump in first. So it's going to be HEHE to call most of the shots. I mean, they have Ogre Magi and they have a Huskar. These are heroes that are very tanky. They love just jumping in. So Moscow 5, even though they don't have a lot of initiation, they will be on the receiving end. They also have some pretty good tools to deal with that, though. I mean, with Abaddon and the heal from Necrophos, you will be able to kind of endure that initiation some of the time. Obviously, it's not going to work all the time, but for right now, we might see initiation from Sexy Bambo and Chips as they are going to think about going for mid, but seeing the Mirana, they're going to think better of it. This Mirana versus Huskar matchup mid lane, can't say I've ever seen this one being played at this type of level before, but I'm inclined to think Huskar should have the edge, although for right now it's going to be bottom lane Bambo. Still looking for blood. King R is not going to be the focus. It's going to be instead the Necrophos. They're going to land a nice combo on him with that disruption, but Bully Brain gets shielded up, and it's going to just be Ignite from the Ogre Magi. Usually it's the higher damaging skill, but I don't think it's going to be the case. It's over towards the mid lane. They get the kill. PGG, man, this is going to be one of those games, isn't it?
It sure looks like it. I did not expect the kill to come out this early like that. Bottom lane, they want to go again. King R, he's dropping low. Does have the F4 to shield if really necessary, so he does survive this time around. But I think it's a pretty huge kill. Like you said, Huskar otherwise might just have the upper hand in this lane. Mirana's right click damage, not that scary. And just the burning spears. So damn painful from Huskar. But nice kill at top lane. Oh, PGG, the rotations once again. Full duration channel. Easy kill. PGG. Man, he's just so effective in the early roaming.
Yeah, I feel like every single time I see him, he's on a hero that is going to be roaming. Whether it's an Ogre Magi, a Vengeful Spirit, or now the Alchemist, it's going to be effective. And speaking of effective, bottom lane, they're going to set up for yet another Shadow Wave combo. This time they have a Fire Blast and Ignite both. That's going to be the death of Blow Your Brain. Has not nearly enough sustain as he's only a level 1 hero versus a couple of level 2 heroes now. This bottom lane, Abaddon, he needs to stick on the Blow Your Brain 24/7, else he just gets annihilated.
Yeah, he was a little bit too far away with the 40 shield. I think otherwise Blow Your Brain might have even made it out with another Death Pulse to help as well. But of course Death Pulse, it just takes so much mana out of your chip sign. He's looking towards the mid lane now. Shadow Demon and Dazzle, they offer a crap ton of burst, to be honest, especially now the Soul Catcher is available for the Shadow Demon as well. Just the heal bomb with the illusions helping out, bouncing off of them. But PGG, he's still hanging around in the top lane. He is level 2 as well. Has the AC spray for additional minus armor if need be. Gonna run into a sexy bamboo instead. Can he get the disruption? No, he cannot. One more right click. Tron, even he comes in. Nature's Prophet. The rotations, they have begun.
And now they're going to try to fight up against the Viper, but Chipsen is here as well. This is going to be the death of Tron. Unfortunately, it seems like it's not going to be like last game. He is going to go down pretty much like 20 minutes before he went down the first time last game. So it's his death, but still, it's a nice little pick-off on the Shadow Demon, and the Alchemist is going to be the real winner of that. But Nature's Prophet teleporting in that aggressively, knowing that the enemies are going to be nearby. A little bit suicidal. Perhaps he's still in the Nature's Prophet mode of last game.
It might be so. He definitely should have just made it out of there together with PGG, ran the same direction as the Alchemist did. But he just ran into the Viper. I really don't know what he was thinking there. But it's not that big of a disaster. At least they got the one counter kill. Still favoring HEHE because it was a core for support. And I think PGG would have been able to get the kill solo anyway. But it's something at least. Vigos though might be in some trouble as Sexy Bamboo comes in. They don't have any lockdown though after the disruption really.
Yeah, it's going to be 100% burst attempts, but as good as Shadow Wave Disruption is, I don't think he get every kill. Techno Rush on the bottom lane is going to be in a lot of trouble. He's going to get teleported upon, sprouted up as well, has no tango. He's going to try to kill Blow Your Brain, but the Necrophos will take that kill. Support rotation from HEHE just a little bit too late. Bambo chips in. Do they really want to keep fighting here? Tron is very weak. He's going to get put into the bubble, but I don't think they have enough to actually kill him unless they get a nice Shadow Wave. Perfect combo, actually. No chance for him to get healed or anything like that. Second Bambo is going to take quite a bit of damage. Blow Your Brain, though, is not too healthy. He actually doesn't have enough mana to cast another Pulse, so now he's got to run. Do they have another Poison Touch? They don't, nor do they have a bubble. Techno Roshan wants in, not going to find a way in. King R is also going to skirt the borders of that. They're going to try to go for Bambo, but they don't have enough damage. Shield is going to pop. PGG now charging his stun is going to chuck it onto Chipsen. The Acid's on the ground as well. Blow Your Brain's already down. Now the bubble as well as Shadow Grave. That guy's not dying for a long time, and he will escape that Dazzle. PGG is still on the run from Ogre. In the meantime, Arrow's going to be thrown. Not connected to anyone, barely missing the Dazzle. In fact, Techno Roshan really wants this PGG kill, but the jukes are real. He's going to instead settle for King R. Needs one more hit. There it is. No coil in order to deny himself. Now Techno Roshan is going to have to book it because Blow Your Brain is back in this fight. Vigos going to jump forward, has another arrow right now, and he should be able to land this one. Melee range, pretty much. Now Techno Roshan, small stun duration, going to be enough to bring him down. Necrophos takes the kill there. Ultimately, the kill score lands 5-5 at 5 minutes in, and well, after all is said and done, I think this game is just going to be pretty much a wash, as the gold score is at 0. Might be a little bit more in favor of HEHE, but less than 1,000 experience lead is not going to be favoring either team heavily.
Moscow 5, it's not like they even have scarier mid-game lineup or anything, so like I said, it's kind of a wash so far. HEHE, they have the level 6 on Huskar if they want to go aggressive themselves at the moment. Doesn't really have the opening to do so. I mean, he himself can kill off the Mirana just because Mirana has the leap. Or at least he shouldn't be able to, unless Mirana panics, leaps during the Huskar life break, and Huskar follows the leap. But Vigos should be experienced enough to just have the life break connect and then leap out, because I don't think you can disjoint it otherwise.
Yeah, not anymore. Leap used to make you invulnerable, so you could do that in theory, but I think unless you're leaping into the Huskar, that's not going to happen. Even like pre-patch. I don't even know how long ago that was, but in life break, he's thinking about it. He will decide not to go for it, though. Mirana is just going to secure the rune for herself, and PGG, with level 2 stun, might be looking for a little bit of blood, but it's going to be King R instead to fight Techno Roshan. Sprout on the Ogre. He once again has no way to get out. Not that much damage from these heroes, but it's going to be enough, I think, to kill off the Ogre. The slow burn damage, and it will be enough. Abaddon's going to take the kill to Coil in the mid lane. Neas is going to get jumped upon. Life break on PGG is his last dying wish, but he will go down. Now PGG in quite a bit of trouble. He will go down, but Vigos still here. Still with illusions, doing quite a bit of damage given the minus armor from Acid Spray. Bambo might get craved by Chipsen. The arrow's going to miss first of all, and now Vigos is kind of all alone, although he has King R to help out a little bit. He can instead try to focus Chips on as well as Sexy Bambo at the same time. That last right click is going to kill off the Shadow Demon. Now going to go for the Dazzle. King R really wants this kill. He's not going to get it either. One more hit. There it is. Will give Vigos a double kill as Techno Roshan does come back into this fight. The Huskar returns as well, but he's a little bit too slow, a little bit too far away in order to get the leap in. And Tron is here as well, as is PGG. They're going to once again go for Techno Roshan. This is going to be the 4th death of the Ogre if they can kill off the Wolves. Annihilating Vigos in the back end, though they can't really afford to fight this. Now Tron get hit with a life break as well as the Fire Blast. This is going to be Death of Nature's Prophet as he tries to teleport out, will fail to do so. PGG turning around. Don't turn around, man. You need to run away. Like right now, the shield is going to help him a little bit due to those burning spears, but this still might be lethal damage. He's going to charge up one other stun. He's going to fire blasted. That's going to be his death. 9-9 now. King R is going to be life breaking upon knees. Trying to jump forward for that Abaddon. The shield is going to keep him alive for a little while, but the spears are still lethal. That's going to be yet another kill for the Huskar. 2-2 here. And HEHE finally take a kill score lead, but Vigos is going to get life broken. And once again, the cooldown is so low, 12 seconds, and this is going to be lethal damage once again on the Mirana. Huskar value right there. Life break, 12-second cooldown, man. It is spammable.
It's ridiculous, that cooldown. He killed 3 heroes with that one spell, more or less. Burning Spears, of course, helping out. But that one value point into Inner Vitality definitely coming into play there as well. Plus, of course, now having the Urn of Shadows on top of it. He's back to full HP and he can just continue his shenanigans. Life break, of course, doesn't even cost any mana. And looking at Moscow 5 Blower Brain, he's struggling so hard on the Necrophos. He's been a part of 3 kills, but still, farm-wise, doesn't have too much at all. Went for his Soul Ring as well, so must be a Bloodstone in the making. And Tron, I mean, he had a Hand of Midas 2 minutes ago already in game number 1. They want to go top lane though. Hawa just going to TP out, gonna get stunned by the Unstable Concoction. Not too sure if they still have the damage. Trap of Nature, it needs a lucky bounce. It does get it as well. He's gonna go down to the last strike click. PGG, not gonna go down to the Viper Strike. Bottom lane, Sexy Bumbo, never mind, Kingar. Doesn't have any stuns or anything to just set things up.
Yeah, Blower Brain still has the Scythe, but doesn't want to use it on a hero that's that healthy, especially with Dazzle. Just waiting on the wings, yet still gonna be a nice little pick off. Viper has been probably participating the least in these fights, but still showing himself to be vulnerable enough to be brought down by just a couple of heroes, and now those heroes are going to transition into a top lane push. This is going to force HEHE into a defense. They're going to Scythe Bamboo, will not do enough damage. Now Blower Brain in a truckload of trouble. He's going to get a couple of pulses out, and he will be fairly durable, and it will be his kill on the Shadow Demon after all. How did he get that kill?
It must have been the Heartstopper Aura, or
yeah,
maybe Death Pulse. Death Pulse must have been following him, or Heartstopper Aura, either or.
Well, it's one kill for the Necrophos, and they do manage to not lose anyone on the bottom lane as well. The Abaddon doing exactly his job, giving that Necrophos just a little bit more survivability. And survivability on Necrophos just with a shield is so important, because once you get a shield on him, that usually means he gets another Death Pulse out as well. So that's, you know, what, 275 plus 170, you add that up, and you get pretty much double duty with your heals. So as long as they keep doing this on the bottom lane, they'll be fine, but HEHE, eventually they'll be able to just burst them down or cut through the shield really quickly with Burning Spears or something like that, and you won't really be able to respond, as Blower Brain right now is in quite a bit of trouble. He's going to get Purged, and he has the Huskar to worry about. The shield is not going to help him with the Purge. The Purge is going to tick, and there Blower Brain is completely surrounded. There is no escape. I don't know what he's trying to do, and now King R is going to get life broken as well. Shield is up on him, not for very long. That's 2 kills for HEHE as they bring the cavalry down in this bottom lane. They do end up losing their Dazzle to a Wrath of Nature, unfortunately, but some sacrifices must be made for the greater good.
King R should have just TP'd the hell out of there, really. There was no way he's gonna save that hero against 4 enemies. And at the very least, in the meantime, oh, Hava might be in trouble once again. The arrow connects. A pretty damn long one. Starstorm to follow from Vigos. Both Tron and Vigos have had the Hand of Midas now for about 30 seconds or so. So double Midas running for them. Late game, I still think Moscow 5 might have the upper hand. Or probably will have the upper hand, unless just Ogre kills everybody with his multicast or something. But I mean, the Hand of Midas plus some decent farm overall on the course. Moscow 5 not looking that bad at all, considering HEHE, they started this pretty nicely with a couple of kills.
Yeah, and Necrophos late game with the Scythe, which I'm assuming is going to be Aghanimed eventually in this game, is going to be huge. Like, obviously, the sooner you get it, kind of the worse it is, but still, a lot of durability going to be built on the Necrophos. He is going to be building towards his Bloodstone already. He has a Vit Booster, a Soul Ring, so he's actually pretty tanky right now. It's difficult to kill him off, and he's actually doing, like, a pure damage build. Heartstopper Aura, not the build I like to go for. I think Sadist is just too great to pass up, but hell, he's just doing so much damage at this point, and you have to kill him off somehow, or else he's just going to keep everyone alive. So there's really no good win-win situation here for HEHE. It's in fact just like lose-lose. If you focus Blower Brain, you probably can't get him. If you focus everyone else, you're not going to get them either. So HEHE, they just need more burst damage, and Huskar, he needs his next item, and Armlet is going to help him so much in accomplishing getting any sort of kills at all.
Yeah, Armlet just boosted up by Dazzle as well, healing him. He can survive for so damn long with the Armlet toggling. In the meantime, oh, Arrow just barely misses from Vigos. He wanted to go for a Techno Roshan. But still tower down to less than half HP. Nicely done. Blow your brain though might be just... Yeah, they're gonna go. Viper Strike comes out as well. There's the Demonic Purge. Double slows. Will King R be enough? I have my doubts, but he's still alive somehow. The disruption is there as well. Another Photic Shield with the Mist Coil. Maybe. Never mind. He goes down in the end. Chipside. Gonna go down under the tower. Maybe going for the TP out. Smart choice. As in the meantime, the Ogre died top lane. So a 2-for-1 as Tron came in. They're gonna get Sexy Bow sprouted up on the high ground. So a 3-for-2 in the end. As Alchemist commits suicide.
Yeah, top lane, I think just Huskar was there and he forced, obviously the suicide and all those other kills. Vigos also died up there. I'm assuming just one too many burning spears landed, and at a certain point, that's just too much damage. Now he's going to rotate over towards mid. Well, he's going to land one slow onto the Nature's Prophet, but this poison attack isn't very highly leveled, so not much slow duration coming out there. There is a mech now on the Viper, and this is a mech that is not being mirrored by Moscow 5, and I don't think it's going to be mirrored. None of these heroes, with the exception of Necrophos, are typically mech heroes. You can get it on Nature's Prophet, but definitely not the build for him, and maybe you get on the Alchemist, but he has nothing right now, so the mech advantage is in favor of HEHE. And when you're working with a Dazzle and a Shadow Demon and a Huskar, mech gets so much better, so they're going to try to go for mid lane off of that. If they do end up taking a team fight right now, I don't see HEHE losing it.
I guess the Alchemist could build one as well. He's going for the stun, not going to get close enough for anybody. Stuns himself, loses some HP. He has the Chemical Rage still to reach him back up. And Tron, of course, in the meantime. His split pushing like a boss. He's going to get the tier 2 as well. Maybe denied, never mind, Hava. Just a split second too late with his own right click. So, Moscow 5, they get the tower. Maelstrom finished on Tron as well. Has that Hand of Might running. Number 1 in net worth. Not anywhere close to the amount of farm that he had last game by this time, but still doing pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, still number 1, still has a Maelstrom, Hand of Midas, 14 minutes in with Phase Boots. It's okay. And Vigos is going to be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to hit with Fire Blast. Oh, unfortunately, they mess up the stun layering, and now he has a free leap out. And you can't really afford to do that, and that's why we don't really see Ogre Magi Shadow Demon as a combo. Unless you're just using the Soul Catcher and then hitting a multicast, it's not going to work out very well, and that's a very hard combination to land. They're going to go for the Viper up on top. They're charging a stun already. PGG is going to wait till 0.5 and then chuck it. There it is. Wrath of Nature is also going to be thrown. Qua's now going to be sprouted up. Where's the Wrath of Nature? There it is. It's going to nuke him down in a hurry. Viper down. Such an easy kill for Moscow 5, and really, with an Unstable Concoction being channeled down to half a second, you get to kill him pretty much anyone, especially this Dazzle right now, who's going to have Grave, but he's going to get stunned nonetheless. The damage shouldn't be enough to instantly kill him off before he gets his Grave off. But what could he do after this? Oh, maybe just straight TP out. That's going to be a kill. Nothing to interrupt that, as here comes Sexy Bamboo. This is also not a fight that you want to be in as a Shadow Demon, so he probably has to run away. He is going to get the bubble, but now here comes Nature's Prophet teleporting in. Bamboo, trapped out in a Sprout, is going to throw a Purge to the way of Tron. Here comes Sector Roshan doing a lot of damage to Tron with the multicast, but it will not be enough as it will be enough actually, as Nihis does come in, annihilating the Alchemist. King R is going to pop his ultimate and then TP out. Bamboo barely manages to survive given that fight circumstance, and it's going to be Moscow 5 maybe staying a little bit too long. Didn't expect rotation from the mid lane. I mean, there's a tier 1 tower still there, so you should expect people to come in pretty quickly.
Tron got absolutely demolished. I think Soul Catcher was there as well, with a multicast coming off from the Ogre. Even Demonic Purge was used. So excellent kill there, as well as getting the PGG on top of that. Shadow Demon escapes. Dazzle just Shallow Grave TP out. Really nicely done by HEHE, and they needed them badly, especially after the Viper died himself. Didn't even have enough mana for the mech at the time. Oh, Vigos with Techno Roshan, the multicast. He just snacks the regeneration rune out in front of the Mirana. Leap with TP forced out from Vigos. The Ogre Magi, if he gets those multicasts, he's such a scary hero. He's going for the Aghanim Scepter as well, but so far, he isn't even level 9.
Yeah, levels on a Ogre Magi who's being played as a quote-unquote core are so important for him. Like, Fire Blast maxed out is a nice leap of power, but really you want to get more levels of that multicast to increase the chances of, well, doing more damage. So if you're a little bit skill-less, then more levels definitely going to help your Ogre Magi play, and, well, maybe it's not going to matter right now as they're going to gear up for a fight, feeling confident enough with their situation. This is going to be a free tower. It looks like Moscow 5 are not going to defend this. Is there a trade in sight? It will likely be a trade. Mid lane is going to get fortified. Huskar's going to come in, tagged with an arrow, though. And he still wants in on this one, I'm sure. He's going to life break forward, do a lot of damage to Vigos, but he's invisible, and they don't have any detection. That's going to be just a tower on the bottom lane. However, Chipsen might be the casualty of war here, as Tron does teleport in for the Sprout. There is a Shallow Grave TP, although I don't know if that's really going to work. Looks like it is going to work. It's going to work for, like, the 4th or 5th time in a row. Bambo's now here in a 1v3. You probably don't want to be here, Bambo. Like, I don't think this is a good place to be. And, oh yeah, he's going to go down. What a surprise.
He actually thought he can get a kill onto Tron, but with King R being there, there was no chance at all, like, really. Don't know what he was thinking, indeed. As Nature Prophet creates the 3 ends, he's out of mana, goes back home. But the 3 ends might be enough, and never mind. Tier 2 already down here. So they should get the Shadow Demon kill. Nis wants to chase down Vigos. Vigos has the level 4 lead. Oh man.
Damage is not quite enough. 3 stacks of poisons, not poison, Burning Spears is quite a bit of damage, but not when you compare it to Fountain Regen. If he messed up and teleported anywhere else but the Fountain, I'm sure he would have died, but for right now, it's going to be Moscow 5 staying the course. They have taken a couple towers here and there, but they've lost just as much as they gained. PGG in the bottom lane is going to be purged up. He can throw some acid and then turn around for a stun to Bambo, just trying to buy himself some space, and he will be fine with his ultimate pop. Not enough heroes here from HEHE. In the meantime, top lane Bullet Brain, pretty much untouched, looks like he's going to go for a Crimson Guard. I don't actually hate this item on Necrophos, but I think Mech is better for the team if you're going to be getting one of those team items, or Bloodstone is better for yourself if you're going to be getting a personal item. So, I don't know. It seems okay.
I'm not too sure how much he will actually be involved in just right-clicking. I mean, maybe Shadow Demon's Illusions, I guess, as Tire Courier. Got sniped by Tron. Man, those snipes by Nature Prophet, but Crimson... I definitely have to agree that Mech might have been just a little bit better there. Crimson Guard, at the very least, doesn't hurt your mana pool, which Necrophos doesn't have the greatest stuff, at least not when you're not going for Bloodstone. So, like you said, it's not the worst item, but is it worth the investment of money?
I mean, range heroes Crimson Guard is always a little bit questionable. Necrophos can certainly use it, but hold that thought, because bottom lane Tron is going to get hit with 1 Fire Blast and Ignite. He does have PGG to help out. Going to throw the stun over to Sexy Bambo. Techno Roshan still wants this kill. Multicast? Man, he's not getting that many, but he's going to get the kill regardless, so skill or not, Techno Roshan is going to secure that for his team. Shadow Demon takes the last hit there. So a nice little pick off onto a very farm Nature's Prophet is going to give quite a bit of gold to everyone on HEHE. And these are the types of pickoffs that they really need. They're going to jump forward for Blow Your Brain. Instant TP out. How many times have heroes just teleported out in this game? Like, that is just so many times now from both sides.
When Husker needs Aghanim Scepter for the additional damage, then they can't even TP out, they're still gonna die, I think. Or at least would have been in those cases. But he went for a Blink Dagger just to make sure he can close the distance as Vigos. He's coming in under a sentry ward, so Hava knows when to back off. Not too sure if Mirana would have been able to get the solo kill anyway. And Vigos, he has an ultimate orb. Is that a Lincoln Sphere?
It might be a Met style, but Lincoln Sphere doesn't seem too terrible here either. Like, if you block a Fire Blast, you're happy. Or a Disruption. Poison Touch, maybe not as much, but Viper Strike for sure. It's not really the item that you want to be getting if your team is going to be relying on you to do a whole bunch of damage. But still, it's a nice item on Mirana in general, so Lincoln Sphere seems decent here.
He's probably gonna go for it, as he tried to fight Hava for like a few right clicks, then was forced to leap and TP out. Mirana's right click definitely isn't all that scary at the moment, especially if he's going for Lincolns as well. But having the Hand of Midas running, he's gonna get to those late game damage items at some point anyway. PG, he has the Medallion of Courage for quite some time, another 1.6k on top of that. Might still go for a mech, but I think probably a Blink for Alchemist as well, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, getting more initiation from Moscow 5, as we said before, they're kind of light on initiation, aside from just random stuns being thrown, so what better way to get a random stun being thrown than Blink Dagger setup. Vigos is going to be jumped. He has already used his leap Force Staff forward. There is still not much multicasting from Techno Roshan. I guess only level 1 multicast, now it just hits level 2, so maybe he's going to get a little bit more skill for the upcoming fights. Yet it's still a kill on Vigos, and they will go for Roshan straight away. They should have more than enough to do this, and it seems like Moscow 5, they do know about this, but can they do anything about it? Necrophos is pretty good in the Roshan pit, but I don't know if that's going to be enough, although it will be enough if everyone just backs off. Looks like the split push from Tron is going to be pretty effective here.
There's no lifesteal on Husker, so it makes it that much harder for him to do it. Can't rely that much on the Armlet as well. Inner Vitality helps out a little bit, but getting bashed by Roshan is taking so damn long. And oh, they couldn't chase down Tron. Tron, I think, has a Blink Dagger now. Never mind, just got into the trees. But Hava, he has the Blink King, are gonna come in a little bit too late. Roshan is gonna fall down anyway, I think, but they're gonna get He's with the Reaper Scythe as well. Sprout onto Chip's hand. Hava blinks out of the Roche pit. They're gonna catch Dazzle because, well, or are they? Hey, TP out again, are you kidding me? Oh no, he went down. But, man, Huskar died there. That's the biggest kill, especially since it's plus 30 seconds.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they get out with the Aegis for Hua, which is kind of nice, but having no Huskar for a minute is just backbreaking. Like, he's most of your damage right now for HEHE. Viper's doing a little bit with, you know, all of the skills maxed out, but still, you need someone else to be jumping in and distracting. Because Viper right now, he's doing peanuts to PGG. Like, he's not even feeling it. So, mid lane push is going to be slowed down a little bit given HEHE's power status with their heroes, but I don't know if they could halt this push in its entirety. There's a lot of damage coming through. They're going to get disruption onto a support PGG, but still, he doesn't really care about that. No Fire Blast onto Blur Brain. Techno Roshan is pretty damn unskillful in this Ogre Magi, I gotta say. He has to practice more.
Yeah, you have to have that, like, karma, kind of. You have to play that hero often enough to get that luck. You have to be friends with it, just bond, be one with nature and whatnot. But in the meantime, Moscow 5, they're also going to get the tier 2 bottom lane here. So double tier 2s, unless PG, he's going to get slowed down as is Blur Brain Hava. Viper Strike used, nice 4 steps by King R. And is it going to be enough? They have the dust, of course, Blur Brain. He's just going to embrace it, run into them, do as much damage as he can before his death arrow will land on the Chip's hand as well, with the unstable concoction to follow and get the kill. PGG going to get slowed down once more. The invis ends and he does die, but it's, oh man, tier 2 tower, it's going to get denied, but one tier 2 tower still went down, one denied. It's not that bad of a trade, to be honest.
Yeah, it could have gone a lot worse for Moscow 5 if they didn't get any of those towers. They, at the end of the day, do end up taking away 2 towers from HEHE, even though one's denied, not the best case scenario, but still it's less map control for them, and assuming they don't lose any other heroes, and it looks like everyone else will be able to survive, then I think they should be happy with what they got right now. Although Hua does have a Blink Dagger, he's going to chase forward for Vigos. Now it's going to be King R to try TP out. The disruption should be there, and no, he doesn't have enough mana, never mind. It's not going to be there in time, so he doesn't make the landing as he does escape out of there successfully. He still lost a couple of towers there, and though they do have the Aegis on Viper, he's never in too much trouble of dying just because he's so tanky. So they're really going to wish that they put the Aegis on the Huskar after that, or I guess before the Roshan fight broke out, as that would have just provided them so much more value. Inherently a suicidal hero, once you have an Aegis on Huskar, you could do pretty much whatever you want and probably get away with it.
They were just forced into a bad situation, really, when they went for the Roshan, because Huskar, had he not jumped out of the Rosh pit like that and occupied Moscow 5 for those extra couple of seconds, I think they might even have lost like all of the heroes and maybe Roshan on top of that. So he just bought a couple of extra seconds, although I have to agree, Huskar usually would be way better of a target for the Aegis. As now Tron, he has his Hex finished, but of course, well, Mirana went for a Manta style, so just Ultimate Orb first instead of Yasha. Don't usually see that coming. But there's an Aghanim Scepter on Ogre now, so if he didn't get lucky enough with a Fire Blast, he's gonna have a second Fire Blast to work with now.
Yeah, we'll see if this Aghanim Scepter gives him the skill he needs. The Manta style, now that I think of it, is actually a lot better than I thought previously. You could debuff many of these slows from HEHE, and just getting rid of the slow from like Life Break or something is going to be worth it to pick up the item, as it'll always provide you that extra damage, movement speed, stuff like that. So a nice little pickup for Vigos, and he's now going to start the hunt for the Viper. This is a very tanky hero with Aegis, so even though he does have Abaddon coming in for a little bit of help, I don't think they can make this kill happen, though they're sure as hell going to try. There's a Hex from Tron. This is most certainly going to be the Aegis. They're going to hold the arrow for it, and I actually like that choice by Vigos. Now going to use the illusions, clear out the wave. Now here comes PGG. Okay, with this many heroes, they could definitely get him. That was easy.
Wow, that second death happened so damn fast. No mech to use by that kill either anymore. At least he got to buy up the Plate of Alacrity before, so only needs a point booster for his own Aghanim Scepter. Didn't lose all that much gold, or well, never mind, still lost 479. I don't know what I'm even talking as. There's another Blink Dagger pickup for HEHE. This time around, this is the Shadow Demon. Blink, 4-staff. Well, he needs to make sure he can get the disruption onto the target who's getting Reaper's Scythe by the Necrophos, but man, they have 3 Blink Daggers, which means that, yes, they're nice items, but it's gold invested into purely mobility, and that just means their pick-off potential or their killing potential might not be as strong.
Yeah, and as good as Blink Daggers are, you are sacrificing a lot of right-click damage and follow-up for that in order to get your base values off. Vigos is going to leap right into Chipsen as well as Techno Roshan. Let's see if the jukes are good enough. One Fire Blast is going to fail multicast. Second one's going to get a 2x. That's going to be enough to kill him off. So I guess Aghanim Scepter is going to provide him enough skill. Chipsen's going to take quite a bit of damage, but he is going to Grave and TP. as he has been for pretty much the entire game. Nice little pick off on the Mirana. Meantime, top lane, they're going to get disruption onto PGG. He is going to jump right in onto that Alchemist, do a lot of damage, but I don't think it's going to be lethal. Now the stun's going to connect onto 2 with the minus armor on both. They will both survive. Do Moscow 5 really want to fight this? They have Tron in the bottom lane, can TP in 9 seconds, but everyone on HEHE having Blink Daggers. This is going to be a very messy disengage from Moscow 5 unless they start teleporting like right now. PGG might make it out alive. Disruption a little bit too slow. Everyone escapes. That was clutch as hell, but they all make it out.
Really nicely done by Moscow 5 there. Just PGG, just as he got to the high ground, the immediate TP out. Smart choice. Blow your brain, of course. Had the boots of travels. Still, does he have any other item pick? Well, he has a Ghost Scepter incoming onto Necrophos. So no Bloodstone, no Aghanim Scepter, at least not yet. So he's not that scary to be honest, but Tron farming up like a madman, as in game number 1 almost. And even Mirana still has a pretty nice amount of farm going for himself. Chem picked up by the Shadow Demon now for the side of HEHE. But their effectiveness is just slowly dropping as far as just right click damage goes. I mean, it's not like Viper is scary in that regard. Huskar really doesn't do all that much either now, even has a Talisman of Evasion picked up. It's a pretty smart choice because physical damage is the scariest for him. But there's going to be a Heaven's Halberd on Alchemist at some point of time anyway as well. Only 900 gold away. And once that comes out, there is nothing he can do against it.
Yeah, really HEHE's lineup with both the Viper and Huskar are kind of the heroes that just excel. Oh, Scythe on the mid lane is going to kill off the Dazzle. They excel in the laning stage, and that is really what gives them enough momentum to do well come mid-game. And they have done okay. Like, they're not doing terribly right now, but really you want to have these heroes win the game or at least take Raxes or close to it by the 30-40 minute mark, because at that point they kind of start to slow down in their effectiveness. Tekton Roshan is going to get hit with a stun down towards bot. No follow-up there, it looks like. He will be able to escape, but Huskar Viper, they could do well late game if they build pure damage, and they're not doing that. They're building more utility items. They're going to reinitiate onto Blow Your Brain. There's a multicast 2 times. Second one is not going to multicast. Stun is going to be a little bit too late to save the Necrophos, and he will be brought down. Still, the Huskar is able to do a lot of damage despite him being decreasing in power level, but HEHE, they just need to take some tier 2s. Like, this is the first thing that they have to do if they want to really get a good foothold in this game and not lose the Huskar. That's also a good thing, as Nature's Prophet is going to blink right in for a Hex. Where's the follow-up damage? Lots of physical from the Alchemist, and your Berserker's Blood is not going to help you here. He is going to go down.
He survived for like 1 extra second just thanks to the Talisman of Evasion. Everybody thought that the last strike list will be enough. But a kill in the end, and Sexy Bimbo, he's gonna get chased down by Vigos as well. He already used all of his spells. Arrow will miss though, Manta Style activated, Hawa. His arrival might already be enough. Vigos gonna force to TP out Tron, he's gonna get stunned as well. No luck with the multicast, there's the multicast. 1-1 as well, PGG. He's gonna arrive into his own death. Sexy Bimbo, he's gonna even survive, the mech comes out. Oh my god. They just took an awful fight.
Moscow 5, please. Please don't do this. Blow Your Brain is going to return back into this. Has a Scythe available, but he's all alone right now, so this is not where you want to be as any hero. Necrophos is the type of hero you would want to be here as, but not if you just died to a Viper Strike. Ghost Scepter is going to buy him a little bit of time, but Moscow 5 deciding it's a good idea to go in 1 at a time against 4 or 5 HEHE heroes. It's not a good plan, turns out, and that's going to cost them. It's a 3 for 0, and by far the best trade HEHE have had all game. Now 27-23, we're going to see in a little bit in the graphs how that last kind of fight interacted with the current state of the game, but still, Moscow 5, they can't afford to be doing stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of what you never want to do.
Classic, man, classic.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty classic Moscow 5, honestly.
Yeah, that was just god horrible. Just going in 1 by 1 like that, and worst of all was Blow Your Brain coming in literally when everybody else had escaped. I think it was Kingard to TP away just as Blow Your Brain arrived. There was no coordination at all. I mean, it's like, are they on TeamSpeak, Skype, whatever? It doesn't feel like it. But Mjolnir will be finished on Nature's Prophet. He's still pretty farmed, of course. 4k above the Viper, who has an Aghanim Scepter plus suddenly another 2.4k on top of that. Now, looking at the graphs as they updated, it was about a 4k-ish gold swing. XP, about 3000 as well. And XP actually, it's only 1000 in the favor of Moscow 5 as it is. So not a big deal at all.
Bot lane, they're going to go for Blow Your Brain. He had status charges, but they didn't last for very long. He's now put into bubble, multicast, 2x, 3x actually. And then I think the unrefined multicast as well, but he was already dead by then. Easy pickoffs on the Necrophos. And really, that's where Crimson Guard does not work too well when you're going to be nuked down by a whole bunch of amplified magic damage. you want to have raw HP there. And even though you get 250 health, 2 attributes, I suppose, is kind of there also, but still, Necrophos needs just raw HP, and he's not really getting it right now. He's going for this weird pseudo-physical survival build, which is, I guess, nice versus Huskar, but not nice versus everyone else on HEHE.
Yeah, we're getting to the stage where Ogre is actually starting to become rather scary as well. Especially if he gets that one additional level now, gets that level 3 multicast for himself. With the Aghanims, there's just so much chance that you actually will get that one huge multicast off. And it hurts. There are no BKBs in sight for Moscow 5 really for any of their heroes yet. Like, not a single item towards a BKB for anybody. I guess Vigos could go for one if he really wants to. Pretty damn close with his money, maybe even sell the Wraith Band and have it almost. But do you think Moscow 5 they're gonna have to invest into BKBs, or will the BKBs not matter that much since there's also a pretty nice or decent amount of physical for HEHE?
I think this is definitely a BKB game. Like, Ogre in itself is dangerous. When you add Shadow Demon Disruption and everything else on top of that, I mean, it does go through most of the Shadow Demon stuff, but Disruption's a pain in the ass, and Huskar's magic damage is also quite high with the life break. If you protect yourself from that, then suddenly he's taking a lot of damage and you're not. So this seems like a BKB game to me, although, I don't know, Moscow 5 might just have different ideas about this. Maybe they are just going to just respect the physical damage, because at the end of the day, that's what scales. So maybe that's the best course of action, but I don't know. It seems like BKB is worth it. They're going to go for Roshan. It's dropped to half HP before the Moonlight Shadow and Blow Your Brain are going to come in. This is going to be Heartstopper Aura revealed. Now Chipsen's in quite a bit of danger. He is actually not going to be able to TP out because he doesn't have a TP. That's like the first time in a very long time that Dazzle's not able to do that. Still, Hua as well as Nihis are in the fight, and Miran is going to get a trade over towards mid. PG is going to be the target of focus. Not the hero you really want to focus, but they will be able to bring him down. Now the Huskar is going to start lifestealing versus everyone else as well. Crimson Guard finally going to get some value. Scythe and Hua is going to bring him down pretty low, but not kill him off. You really need to kill that Viper to get those status charges. Now Nihis is going to go to town on that Necrophos. In the meantime, top lane tower has been brought down. Tron is going to not make it out as he gets put into a bubble. Here comes Techno Roshan. Let's see his luck. There's a 2x multicast, and that's going to be enough to kill him off. Rax is still in a little bit of trouble. Melee Raxes are being focused down by treants, but they should not be able to get that kill. It's going to be Moscow 5 losing a whole bunch of heroes once again, taking a very scattered fight.
And they clean up Roshan as well. How a regeneration rune spawned as they were actually in mid-fight. So after the Urn ticked Hawa down even lower than the Reaper Scythe brought him, he just picked up the regeneration rune, suddenly back to full HP. Nihis, with his lifesteal, was easily able to do Roshan, with the Heaven's Halberd helping out. So 2 excellent fights for HEHE now, back to back more or less. And suddenly Moscow 5, they have to be extremely careful because there's going to be a butterfly finished on Hawa soon enough on the Viper, with a Heaven's Halberd on top of that as well. I mean, Moscow 5, they don't have crazy magic burst. Their heroes aren't the most traditional, like, strong right clickers either. And oh, they're gonna go on to Blow Your Brain, Life Break. He comes out with the Viper Strike, nice 4-staff though. And they're packing off for the time being. Nihis doesn't have the Aegis. Once again, they gave it to the Viper for some god-forsaken reason. The mech is there. Blow Your Brain, he doesn't have his ultimate for another 2 seconds. Another Life Break onto PGG. He stays alive with the Photic Shield helping out, and the Moonlight Shadows of course as well. But Nihis is not giving up. Hawa blinks in aggressively. Nihis Reaper Scythe, nope, Shallow Grave. You don't care at all. Blow Your Brain. Just look at the damage output, the attack speed from Nihis. Armlet toggling as well. Arrow will miss Tron. He comes in, he's gonna get the kill finally. But Hawa, he's just on a massacre in the enemy base. Like, where are you diving, dude? The tier 2 is still standing.
Oh, he doesn't give a shit. He's gonna go for everything. He's gonna get Shallow Graved. He still has the Aegis, so even if Tron gets this once, he's gonna need a perfect arrow from Vigos to actually set this one up, and he will be able to land it unless he really messes up. Sprout is there, but an instant blink out from the Viper, and arrow is going to fly, not connect. HEHE, they dive deep, and they get a fantastic series of kills there. Ultimately, it's a 4 for 3 with a buyback being forced out by Vigos, and now Hua is going to want to go back in on this one, actually. Fire Blast as well. Double Fire Blast, but no multicast. Seriously, Techno Roshan, what is wrong with your skill? It's going to be Death and Mirana regardless, and I have to mute my mic for 1 second.
It's just, he gets as many multicasts as is necessary to get the kill. At the moment, didn't really need the additional damage or the stun, so he didn't get the luck. He's saving it for those perfect times maybe, but it's a dieback from Vigos. Suddenly, he's set so far back in his items and Sexy Mabo. They're gonna find Tron as well. No! Oh my god, they didn't actually get it. Blink, Sexy Mabo, blink, try. A little bit too late, doesn't find the right angle. So Tron, he actually gets away just as Sexy Mabo was about to disrupt. The blink came off from Tron into the trees. But Butterfly finished on Hava now. Man, that just 3 fights now. He has won rather convincingly.
And all of a sudden, the net worth is looking more and more in favor of HEHE as it drops down to 2,500 in favor of Moscow 5 from a previous 10,000 experience. Oh my god, that really happened. 10,000 now in favor of HEHE, which was previously slightly in favor of Moscow 5. So HEHE, maybe this is finally the game where Huskar has his day. I mean, I don't think I've seen a Huskar win in any of the games I've seen him, but hell, this might be it. This might, in fact, be it. But it's still not over for HEHE. They have to worry about Necrophos, who is not going to go for an Aghanim still. He's not getting any gold. So this is still Moscow 5 that are kind of just stalling out right now. MKBM Mirana is going to be nice if she could get it, but she's very far away from that item as well. So I don't know if Nature's Prophet being farmed is going to be enough to bring them back in this game. Jump forward for the Viper, though. And, well, that should be a nice, easy kill. Monkey King Bar is going to cut through that evasion. And, yeah, despite the tankiness of the Viper, he will go down in the end.
Yeah, it's a mega kill streak as well, so Tron getting a crap ton of gold from that. I have no idea why Hava wasn't carrying a TP. Probably wouldn't have been successful anyways. PG gonna get slowed down by the life break. They pop the Heaven's Halberd as well. PG going for the stun. He's gonna succeed in it. I don't think it's gonna be enough for him to make the escape. Ace Spray not down to stop the blink. He blinks into the trees. Is he really caught there? Doesn't have a TP either, if only Moscow 5 knew.
I think you're not stuck there. You can just walk out. He just decided to stay there for whatever reason. But either way, it's still Viper down for a minute. Did they get the Scythe kill? I don't think they did. They might have. He's level 22 hero. But either way, it's going to be them trying to go for this opening on the bottom lane. Vigos is going to open up on some of the creeps, and Boiler Brain is there with King R, so there is the Death Ball in full effect right now. PG is going to throw a nicely channel stun to Bambo. No follow-up on that one, however. They're just going to try to focus down this tower, and they should be able to get it, but here come things from the side. Landing a life break onto Vigos, forcing the leap out. Now he's going to get halberded up. Where's his BKB? He doesn't have one. He's going to sit there awkwardly and take stun after stun after stun. He's going to be... Oh, actually, it's the top lane where they kill off Nature's Prophet, trying to backdoor the Rax, and he did take out the melee. So I guess well played by the Nature's Prophet, but giving up his life for that. And now that means that Moscow 5 can't actually go for anything else in the bottom lane, but still I guess they take Raxes, and still I guess it's going to be worth it for them. They get something off the death of the Viper.
Yeah, they're probably just fine with that trade. I mean, one lane will now constantly be pushing in, plus tier 3 is down also on the bottom side. So I think it's perfectly fine for them at the moment. It's not like Nature's Prophet is forced to TP out anytime soon. Oh, but the blink, Sexy Mambo, the blink's actually working out for them now. The stun, it's not gonna follow up. PG stops Techno-Ocean for even a little bit longer. And Vigos gonna pick up a Bounty Rune, bottle it up, and be just fine, I think. Unless Sexy Mambo with the 4-step, he just wants to keep on going. He has the Demonic Purge, has the Disruption as well. Are they gonna get the kill, really? Do they have enough chasing power here? I think they even might. Techno-Ocean, oh man, if only the Ogre had a blink as well.
Seriously, some balls of steel on Sexy Bambo. Like, he's picking a fight with an enemy Mirana who's been getting, you know, some of the most farm on the Moscow 5 team. Normally, you don't see Shadow Demons doing that, but actually Sexy Bambo has quite a bit of net worth. He has a lot of utility items in his inventory. He is able to do that and get away with it because he has so many survival tools. He has pretty much his entire inventory full of them. So some real large ones on Bambo there. Ultimately not going to pay off in the end, unfortunately for him, but still forcing out the Mirana, and just having one support do that is pretty scary for Moscow 5, but over towards mid lane, they're going to get the Hex off onto the Dazzle. No Shallow Grave in this fight as he is quickly brought down. Halberd onto Tron. He's now going to get life broken. He is going to get Halberded as well, though. Awkward is standing by. He's going to be focused down. Let's see how survivable he really is. Going to try to turn a fight versus Vigos, but the Manta Style is going to keep him safe for most of that. Double kill for Tron. They do bring down the Huskar, and instantly he buys back, but here comes the Necrophos with Boots of Travels. This is all 5 heroes from Moscow 5 plowing down the mid lane. It actually looks like they want to slide bottom. That seems better, especially when you get an arrow onto Sexy Bambo like that one. Boiler Brain's going to slow down by Viper Strike. Still Viper's doing the poison damage from the high ground. Necrophos is going to survive as Huskar does pick off Nature's Prophet over towards mid, buying back for that kill. Bambo wants more, going to get the Purge and everything else with PG. He can't attack, and he is going to go to town with Boiler Brain, actually. Dropping pretty low, but with the Berserker Blood and all the survivability he has, he will be more than fine with the multicast to kill off Necrophos. Now going to kill off the Alchemist as well. It's been HEHE killing off everyone from Moscow 5. Going to go for Vigos as well. Doesn't even have the leap available. He's going to drop. They get nothing. They should have gotten so much more because you open up with an arrow on Shadow Demon, but HEHE just converted upon Moscow 5 and put themselves in a really poor position. And they're still showing signs of life, HEHE. I mean, that I think would have looked like Rax's, but still they make a defense.
Excellently done. First of all, he completely caught off Tron there. Moscow 5, they were all trying to go for the Shadow Demon who got arrowed. Of course, 4 steps made him a little bit safer even after the arrow. But he had solo time against Tron, and Edge Prophet can't do anything about it. I think his Hex was still on cooldown from the kill on Dazzle as well. So excellent fight for HEHE. Once the graphs update, probably XP is gonna be even more in their favor since it was an 8k swing from that one fight alone. Shadow Demon, he even has Boots of Travels now. Sexy Bambo, he's such a boss on that hero. Hawa, no item pickups yet, but 2.8k on him. 3k on Nature Prophet, still 2.8k also on the Huskar. So they're going to get the next items. Satanic will be it for Huskar. So everybody is getting some form of items. But Moscow 5, it's just that Necrophos, he's not getting anything at all almost as far as farm is concerned.
At this stage, you would expect an Aghanims and or a Sheepstick on your Necrophos. Instead, he has neither. He's gone for Crimson Guard Travels. I mean, these are all good items on Blow Your Brain, but not the items that they really want. Hua's going to get jumped upon by Tron. He's not going to be able to TP out. He's going to try to turn and fight. It's his only real option. He's going to put a little bit of damage on Nature's Prophet, but he will go down in the end. Once again, it's the Viper kind of playing around in no man's land, and HEHE, though they do have a buyback, they're now forced back on the defensive. Last time it kind of worked out for them, but if you give Moscow 5 too many chances, you're going to end up losing more and more structures to, at the very least, chip damage. So, especially if they lose Nihis right here, he's going to buy up a Satanic, big item to pick up if you can attack. And up against the Heaven's Halberd of the Alchemist, it's going to be pretty difficult to get those attacks. Sheepstick as well, so this is crunch time for HEHE. They have to make one more defense. They don't really want to buy back with their Viper, but I think they might have to.
Yeah, they definitely can't afford to be 2 racks behind, but Sexy Memo is gonna get caught unless they blink out first. Never mind, it was on cooldown, doesn't get the self-disruption. At least Arrow misses, there's the disruption. And he's probably even gonna survive here. Maybe Reaper's Side Flower Brain, not gonna use it because Shallow Grave would have been there. Triple multicast, another one. Oh my god, it's a quad multicast. Are you kidding me? Ghost Scepter keeps him alive. PG going in for the stun, might even get the double. Yes, he does. But Tron, he's not there with the follow-up. He's split pushing the bottom lane at the same time. PGG gonna get a multicast as well. Techno-Roshan, he's pulling out the multicast. All for this one fight. The Tron BKB TP out. It's not gonna be in time even. He doesn't get the racks. He dies. I think he should have joined the fight and they would have won it.
Yeah, probably. And I guess he forces out the fortification from HEHE, but they do end up buying back with the Viper. They ultimately make a defense, and the melee Raxes were being focused by the Nature's Prophet, so they don't actually get anything that would stick. It's going to regenerate by the time Moscow 5 get back to that lane. I think it should be at full. They do pick up the Aghanim Scepter on the Necrophos, which is a very nice item to have at this stage. But is it going to be enough? Because he's down 2 heroes, and these are heroes without buyback. Now he's going to get initiated upon. Force Staff out is going to keep him safe for a little while. Viper Strike, not available. Actually, no, it was already used. Blow Your Brain taking so much magical damage. He will be brought down. Bambo with the Shadow Poison stacks going to get that kill. Now they're going to go for this tier 3. In the meantime, top lane is in full breach. Vigos is going to take that one out and then try to go for bottom. Sexy Bambo wants to fight this one, has a curse, which is going to land on the main Mirana, and a couple stacks of Shadow Poison. Is Mirana really going to go down to a Shadow Demon like this? He will. Bloodlust, I guess, is really good. That's 4 down for Moscow 5, and the rest of HEHE, they're over towards the mid lane. King R can do nothing about this. Alchemist can do nothing about this. Is this going to be Raxes in favor of HEHE? It seems like it might be.
It most likely will be as well. I mean, no buybacks. Nature Prophet coming back might be able to just split push things out. But there's the life break onto PGG. He gets his own ultimate to force left the wrong direction though. Thank God for Heaven's Halberd for PGG. But the Viper Strike comes out. He's gonna go down in the end. Nice double stun. But too little, too late. He doesn't have buyback either. 65 seconds on the sidelines. They get Abaddon's ultimate to pop as well. This is just going absolutely horrible. And they're going for the juggler, just straight off Ancient. Oh god, is this game really ending like this?
I think it is. They're just going to take it. They need their Necrophos and Mirana back up. But HEHE, they're all 5 now in the middle lane. Bambo cleaned the entire base out. Tron's going to jump over the BKB, try to get everyone, but I don't know if he can get anyone. Nihis is going to turn around and fight. Tron is going to end up losing that man fight. Has no buyback. The Scythe is going to come out to Nihis, but he's Huskar. He doesn't give a shit about your magic damage. Blow Your Brain is going to survive, but the Ancient does not. I can't believe Moscow 5 actually managed to lose that game. Like, they were in firm control for so long, but just getting your Necrophos sniped one too many times, no item progression, is going to mean HEHE actually come ahead with the win.
And Sexy Bambo, he actually made so much happen, although he was a support Shadow Demon. He caught so many people off guard, and even solo killed Mirana, for example, in the end. And defending against Tron there as well, just excellently done by HEHE, really well played. I mean, Moscow 5, they should have had this game by all means, but like we talked about, if it gets to the later stages, Moscow 5, they just kind of fail in the decision making, and it showed.
Oh man, this is going to be yet another tie in the jDL4. I don't
like
think I've
always,
seen any
man.
2-0s.
This season is really so full of ties. But guys, this is going to conclude it for us for this channel at the very least. Album Sheet versus somebody, my insanity maybe. Album Sheet versus somebody in any case is going on HeflaTV 1, casted by HeflaMoke still. We're also going to be back with more HEHE. It's going to be for the Art Red Festival in about 50 minutes time on our ESFX channel. If it's working, that is. But it's going to be HEHE versus Goomba Gaming in the best of one in the lower bracket. So we're going to have more Dota, of course, overall on HeflaTV. Like I said, HeflaTV 1 for some game. Don't even remember what I said anymore, but HeflaMoke is casting it, Album Sheet versus somebody. So just go check it out, and hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to follow us as well. And just have a good one. Mike, any last words?
Not really. I'm looking forward to the day where there's no ties in the jDL4, but I do like the fact that Huskar won. Like, that's nice and refreshing.
Yeah, it's definitely good. I mean, he didn't do all that much for the victory, but he won, so good for him. So guys, just a few songs to finish the stream, and see you in about 50 minutes for HEHE versus Goomba on esfx.esfxtv.com/channel/HeflaMoke. Not HeflaMoke, HeflaTV. So yeah, see you there, and just bye for now.